Hey everyone, my name is Amy Smith. I'm a realtor here in Tampa, Florida, and I often get asked this question: is Tampa a good place to live? I always say, yes, of course it's a good place to live. I knew it! I have 14 reasons why Tampa is a good place to live. I'm going to talk fast today because 14 reasons why Tampa is a good place to live is a lot, so I'll cover them quickly. Reason number 1. Tampa is a city that cares, and that's good for everybody. So from the government to private organizations, there are a ton of ways to give and give back to the community if you can, or get help if you need it. And speaking of help and nonprofits leads me very well into reason number 2 why Tampa is a good place to live, and that's healthcare. Tampa has lots of world-class, top-notch healthcare. Johns Hopkins Children's Center Hospital, Shriners Children's Hospital, the Moffitt Cancer Research Center, and the Tampa General, which is part of the University of South Florida Medical School, so it's a teaching hospital, and that's just to name a few. And that's good for obvious reasons for all of us. I just mentioned the University of South Florida, which is another great segue into reason number 3 why Tampa is a good place to live, and that is school. You can't talk about whether or not a place is good to live without mentioning schools. And even if you don't have children who will be in the school system, having a good school system in place is good for everyone in that area. So Tampa has highly ranked public and private schools and several colleges right in the city. I already mentioned the University of South Florida. There's the University of Tampa, St. Leo's, Eckerd College, and that's just to name a few. There are several campuses also of Hillsborough Community College, which is a huge and awesome community college that serves people of all ages in the community. I like a good segue. So speaking of people of all ages, number 4 on my list of why Tampa is a good place to live is diversity. So Tampa is a city made up of people who have moved here like me, or maybe like you're thinking about doing. A city of transplants. Of course, there are lots of natives here too, and that's great, but it's nice to not always only be the only new guy. So it makes it easier to fit in. The people who have lived here forever are very used to it. It's a very welcoming place. That diversity spills over into so many aspects of the community here too, like dining and shopping. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Reason number 5, shopping. I don't know about where you were from, but where I was from, malls were dead. The indoor mall at least. So it's kind of nice that they're not outdated, they're not weird, they're just thriving indoor malls here in Tampa. In fact, at the International Mall, which is near the airport, you can do some very upscale shopping at Gucci and Armani and all sorts of fancy places. If you're more like me and prefer to look for a bargain every time you go shopping, then there are tons of options for us too. In fact, my current obsession is the label swap consignment store. Love it. Reason number 6 is dining. There's no way I can tell you all about the Tampa dining scene in this very short segment, but I'm gonna try. Okay, there's high-end cuisine at fancy steakhouses and very unique places. There are local stars like Burns or Eulalie at Armature Works, not to mention all the other restaurants there at Armature Works downtown. And there is a huge food truck scene with barbecue and burgers and tacos. My personal favorite, tacos. I could do a whole long series on nothing but tacos in Tampa. But no, focus. Okay, all I can think about is tacos. The point is, come to Tampa for great dining. You will not be disappointed. Number 7 on my list of reasons why Tampa is a great place to live is arts and culture. There is an innovative, cutting edge, very dedicated arts scene here in Tampa. There's so much happening at historical and cultural centers around Tampa. And then there's the Tampa Theater, the Straz Center for Performing Arts, and that's just to name a few. Amalie Arena often has big named headliners, so if concerts and musicals and plays and just visual arts are important to you, Tampa has it. Next on my list is number 8, and it is sports. I better stop for a confession here because I think it adds to the credibility of why sports makes Tampa such a great place to live. I am not a huge sports person. So shortly after we moved here, when my husband said, hey, let's go to a hockey game, I reluctantly agreed. So imagine my surprise when all of us went to the hockey game and loved it. I mean, loved it. And it's such a community of camaraderie and so much fun surrounding the sports that it's just really great. All the other things, the football, the baseball, it's really easy to be a fan right now. I mean, Tampa Bay is a real thing. Reason number 9, also really close to my heart, and that's the water. Just driving over the bridge to St. Pete makes me happy. And the beaches, I mean, come on. Every year, the best beaches in the world, the best beaches in the country, yeah, we know. And aside from lying on the beach, of course, there's sailing and there's fishing and kayaking, and it's just great. If you're not someone who can make it to the beach or make it to a boat every weekend, then maybe number 10, just the great outdoors is reason enough. So the outdoor lifestyle here in Tampa is way more than just about being on the water or near the water. So many other things to do: golf and tennis and running and walking and skating and hiking, biking. It's all here. Number 11 is yet another thing that I love to do outside, but it deserves its own reason, because it has been a really fun, really big part of why we've loved living here, and that is theme parks. I understand that theme parks are not for everybody, but look, it's so much fun. We don't even have little kids anymore, but we've had so much fun having our weekends at Disney and passes to Universal Studios, passes to Busch Gardens, which is right here in Tampa, but also shares access with SeaWorld. How many times we just said, hey, what are we going to do this afternoon? Let's go jump on a couple roller coasters and come home. It's really great. All right, so we are at number 12 on our reasons of why Tampa is a great place to live. If you, for some reason, can't find enough to do right in Tampa with all the things that I've just mentioned, then you should know that there are also a lot of other cool things close by. Oh, that's number 12. Cool things close by. So within an hour or two drive from Tampa, you can find so many things to do. Peaceful, quiet things, wildlife preserves, horseback riding, manatee watching, you name it. So number 13 on my list is housing. Obviously housing is important, but in Tampa there is a huge variety of housing options, which means there's some place for everyone in Tampa. There are 55 and older communities, there are mobile home communities, townhomes, villas, single-family dwellings, there are luxury condos, apartments for rent and to buy, and not to mention that there are subdivisions of houses for miles. Reason number 14 why I say Tampa is a great place to live is, money and jobs. I don't know about you, I'm no trust fund baby, which means I gotta work. That's why we came to Tampa. My husband got a job opportunity here. The economy has been very good. But first, if you didn't know this little gem, you may already know this, but in Florida, there is no state income tax. It was an instant raise. And for jobs, there's the healthcare that I mentioned, the education system that I mentioned, and of course, public service jobs. But there is a technology sector, information sector, finance, and not to mention the port. So there's shipping of goods and other things that get manufactured here. So yeah, it'll also be no surprise to you to know that tourism is, of course, huge in Tampa. It's Florida. Tourism is king. But you also have to have good access in and out of the city for people and for goods. We have that with the Tampa International Airport, which I already mentioned, and of course, Interstates 75 and I-4. So is Tampa a good place to live? I definitely think so. If you have a comment below, if you agree, absolutely let me know. Or hey, even if you don't agree, you can let me know. Or ask any questions if you have them. I'd love to connect. Thanks for watching.